What is up, everyone? JD here. Got a new model in from Karbon to check out. Let's jump into it. All right, so I did say new model. I should have said new variant from Karbon here. This is the budget-friendly version of the Buckhorn manufactured by Key2. So what you have different here is you have aluminum scales with an aluminum backspacer. You have titanium thumb studs with titanium pivot collars. I really do like the fact that they threw that little bit of extra in there for you. And this one, instead of being a frame lock, is a nested liner lock. You're looking at a coated 14C28N blade, and everything else is very similar to the original Buckhorn that I reviewed on the channel. I like this knife a lot. It has a nice little swell here in the middle that makes this super comfortable ergonomically. It has a nice oversized sharpening tool that you can choke up on for sure. Very comfortable in hand. Very good thumb studs, and then they have like a checkered or golf ball pattern with knurling that goes along with or horizontal with the knife itself, and then they give you a little bit more knurling here on that pocket clip. I thought this pocket clip worked really good on the last model. The thicker pants that I was wearing today, I was having a little bit of an issue with it going in and out of the pocket, but you see that's exactly what it was doing. It's like bunching up, and then when it reached a certain point, it almost had like enough give to get it to kind of overcome, and then it would come out of the pocket okay, but it had, you hear that really aggressive grip into the pocket. And then I'm wondering if like summer shorts or thinner shorts, yeah, it would probably do a little bit. Nope, still kind of bunching up, and even worse so because the thinner material tends to kind of give there. So really strong retention, which I really wouldn't have thought. Maybe you can kind of bend it out of there, get it to the point, kind of like what I had to do with my was it my tall boy? Yeah, my tall boy. I had to do the same thing. The pocket clip it was such an aggressive grip that I had that helped a little bit, had a little bit of a harder time getting that in and out of the pocket. Let's just see. I do grip this a little bit harder since it's like folded over material, but I'm trying to give it enough leeway to act like, you see what I'm saying, like pants pockets. So I do wish they would have done a little bit of a different style with that pocket clip. I thought the first one worked well, but perhaps not. It has been a little while since I've checked that out. I like these thumb ramps. They work good. They're still circular like a thumb stud, but they're knurled and they have a little bit of a ramp to them so that you can kind of grip them to fire, and it works really good. Very well tuned D10. I just slid off of them after I said that they worked good. So they work good for the thumbs. For the reverse flicks, I'm actually finding going in front is a little bit better than trying to use the ramp, at least for me personally. Hitting on the ramp, I kind of gotta dig into it to use it, which is not that natural for me. For me, it's more natural just to kind of lift on it. Actually, catching it on the bottom couple of rows feels pretty good too. So kind of half on, half off as I slip again. That first one felt good. Let me see one more time. Nah, I think it's better to kind of, go underneath of it versus trying to go on top. Yeah, on top, I'm still skidding across, but for the thumb flick, it does work well. And I think that's because when I do the thumb flick, I'm kind of digging into the knife anyway. So I'm getting that benefit of the grip from there. A little bit of knurling or jimping, I should say. I'm saying knurling, but a little bit of jimping here on that very low profile flipper tab, and it absolutely fires with that. Very well tuned, very smooth, nice fit and finish. I did go ahead just because I was curious about 14C28N and if I didn't mention this earlier, these are manufactured by Key2 Reich knife for Karbon, so they will be in my affiliate links if you are interested. Took it down to the garage just again to see what the 14C28N is like from Karbon/Reich Key2 knives, and really, really well done. Honestly, held up well, about as well as I've seen of any other 14C28N out there. Still like the very thin, slicey geometry and nature of this particular knife, and then you have that really unique hook down out on the tip that really catches well for those draw cuts and those utility cuts. And in the pinch grip, I did take advantage of that forge, that larger sharpening choil. It's not really a forge choil, but it does give enough space to kind of grip onto to pinch the knife to make it a little bit easier to handle, because it is a little bit of a longer blade. The coating on here, I don't know if this is DLC, but it certainly behaved like it. After I did some cutting, it looked like it had kind of worn away a little bit around the edge, and then when I cleaned it off, it just cleaned all of the dirt and debris from the cardboard off and looked really nice while finished. Now, I do like this one a lot. If you couldn't afford the more premium, I think M390 version of the Buckhorn, this is definitely one that you want to take a look at. I almost kind of like the nested liner lock scaled version of this one a little bit more. I don't know if it added any thickness with the nested liners or anything like that, but I feel like this is a little bit more comfortable in hand than the original version. So I'm wondering if maybe it added just a touch of thickness on there. It's really not super thick at all. But and it could be just that I don't remember the swell feeling that good, but maybe it did. It has been a little while. All right, let's do some size comparisons, guys. All right, we're going to start with a couple of budget offerings here from Fenrir. We got from Tenable Knives, we have the Fenrir. I said that totally backwards. Full-sized budget knife, and then we have the Kaiser Nice Guy, which is going to be a really small knife comparison. As you can see, the Buckhorn definitely more of a full-size, longer blade, but I would say the handles aren't terribly different. Yeah, it is a little bit longer, but when you look at the footprint for where you can put your hand on it, it's very similar because you got that flipper tab. So you're really looking at this space here, very similar ergonomically. All right, let's do a couple more and then we'll grab the scale. All right, keeping with the small knife, big knife comparisons here, we have the Devo Knives Mini Growler and we have the WE-XL. And I will say the Buckhorn a little bit bigger, but then when you look at actual where you can put your finger real estate, it's going to be very similar, and you have a larger forward choil that's actually dedicated for that forward grip, but you're going to have more blade and sharpened cutting edge on the Buckhorn. Let's grab the scale and check the weight on this one, guys. All right, we got the scale out. Let's cut her on and check the weight on the aluminum version. So 4.5 ounces. For as much steel as you have, and the fact that you have aluminum plus a steel liner on here, it's really not that bad. And I'm also going to go ahead and say I can tell that it is a little bit of a heavier knife, but once you get it in hand and you're carrying it and cutting with it, it doesn't feel terribly heavy. 4.5 ounces isn't really, in all reality, that heavy. Now, I will say it's not going to be as light as the -XL, which is an all titanium knife that is contoured, and it has some weight relief cutting going on internally to kind of save that a little bit. But the steel liner on this one, and I'm having a hard time seeing it as the sun's going down here, the steel liner on this one, it is very, oh, I didn't notice that, but it says Kin Onion in there. You guys see that? But it is cut pretty good. Like, I don't know that there's anything more they could have done to reduce the weight. So on the liner side, the liner lock side, I should say, you got a little bit of relief cut going on. And then over on the show side, trying to see in the camera to see that you guys can see it when it actually gets published. They did a good job is what I'm saying with that. And you got a longer blade, do have some height to it. So all of that is something that I would say you want to take into account. Man, this is really good, guys. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, this is one of those rare instances where you're going to have some premium touches on a budget-friendly knife. Budget-friendly meaning that you're using 14C28N and aluminum to bring the weight down instead of using titanium. And I think that is a really smart move to bring that down. Having said that, I grade on a scale of 1 to 10, But when you're using materials like 14C28N and aluminum with touches of titanium, 7 is the max that you can go on my scale. Now this one is really good, nearly perfect. I do find that I am running a little bit into the chamfered bubble here on the back, but I can get a very comfortable 4-finger grip on here. The sharpening choil is done really good on this one. I do like the pinch grip on here, even though it's a little bit longer, so smaller hands might not work as well for that, but you're going to have a lot of sharpened edge on here. Maybe they make a mini buckhorn in the future for those that like the smaller knives. I like the thumb ramp for the thumb flick, but a little bit of a adjustment needed to understand that you kind of come in front of that stud if you want to reverse flick it. Not a prerequisite for me, just pointing it out. And that low profile flipper tab works really well. The only really complaint I have on here is going to be the pocket clip. The pocket clip is a little strong. I think if they could have made it just a little bit longer and brought it out and created a little bit more relief on there, I think it would have worked a little bit better. Probably would have still been grippy, but you probably would have been able to figure out how to overcome the fight. I think the other part of it is they're catching it on the start of the downhill of the swell. I think bringing it out to the flat of the swell would have really helped that one. With that being said, I think I'm going to go 7.7 on the Buckhorn budget version. I really like everything that they did with the premium that they brought over to the budget friendly. Not much sacrifice happening here outside of the M390 and titanium that you got on the premium version. And again, excellent fit and finish. This feels like a premium knife, and I think to someone that isn't in the know, they may think this is coated titanium and the fit and finish on it, that it would probably be a way more expensive knife than what it really is. That's where I'm at with the Buckhorn in 14C28N in aluminum, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on this one. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love a like. If you enjoyed on your way out, you can hit that like button for me. It would be appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Love to have you follow along. Special shout out to my channel members. I appreciate that extra support. Don't forget, hit those affiliate links in the description if you want to continue to help the channel as well. I appreciate when you do that. It goes a long way when you do. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.